My dear students, welcome back to our channel. In this video, I will be explaining the BBA 5th semester subject Entrepreneurship Development as prescribed by Osmania University and other universities of Telangana. We will go through the important questions and answers one by one. Let's begin with a quick revision. Unit 5 first important short question is: what is venture capital? Venture capital, VC, is money provided by investors to new or small businesses that have a lot of growth potential but are too risky for banks to fund. Basically, it's like getting a financial boost to turn your idea into a big business. VC investors don't just give money, they also provide advice, guidance, and connections to help the startup succeed. In return, they get a share of the company and hope to earn big profits if the business grows. Example: imagine a young entrepreneur in Bangalore invents an app for online grocery delivery. Banks might refuse to lend money because it's risky. A venture capitalist sees potential, invests 50 lakh rupees, and helps the entrepreneur expand. Later, if the app becomes popular across India, the VC earns a profit along with the entrepreneur. Easy way to remember: VC is equal to money plus guidance for risky but promising startups. Next important short question is: to discuss the need for venture capital. Need for venture capital, VC. Many young entrepreneurs have great ideas but lack money to start or grow their business. Traditional banks often refuse loans because startups are risky and don't have assets as security. This is where venture capital comes in. VC provides funds, guidance, and support to help these risky businesses grow into successful companies. It's especially needed for innovative sectors like IT, biotech, or apps, where big investments are required but the future is uncertain. Example: a student in Pune invents a smart solar-powered charger. Banks say it's too risky. A venture capitalist invests 1 crore rupees, advises on marketing, and connects the entrepreneur with manufacturers. The startup grows, creating jobs and earning profits. Easy way to remember: VC is needed when ideas are big, money is small, and banks say no. Next important short question is: 3. Venture capital financing. Venture capital financing, VCF. Venture capital financing is the process where venture capitalists provide money to new or growing businesses that have high potential but are risky. The money is usually given in exchange for a share in the company. VCF is not just about money, it also includes advice, business connections, and support to help the startup succeed. Example: suppose an entrepreneur in Hyderabad wants to start an electric bike company but doesn't have enough funds. A venture capitalist invests 2 crore rupees, gives business guidance, and connects the entrepreneur with suppliers. As the company grows and sells bikes across India, both the entrepreneur and VC earn profits. Easy way to remember: venture capital financing is equal to money plus support plus share in business for risky but promising ideas. Next important short question is: 4. Relevance of venture capital. Relevance of venture capital, VC. Venture capital is very important for the growth of startups and the economy. Many new businesses have great ideas but not enough money. Banks often refuse loans because startups are risky. Venture capital fills this gap by providing funds, guidance, and business connections. VC is also relevant because it encourages innovation, helps create jobs, and promotes industrial growth. It supports sectors like IT, healthcare, and renewable energy, which need big investments and expert guidance. Example: A tech student in Bangalore creates an AI-based learning app. Banks refuse to fund it. A venture capitalist invests 1.5 crore rupees, guides the startup, and helps market it across India. The app becomes popular, creating jobs and profits. Easy way to remember, VC is relevant because it turns risky ideas into successful businesses, creates jobs, and boosts the economy. Next important short question is 5. Growth of venture capital. Growth of venture capital, VC. Venture capital in India has grown rapidly over the last few decades. Earlier, startups struggled to get funds because banks avoided risky businesses. But now, more investors and VC firms are willing to fund innovative ideas, especially in IT, healthcare, fintech, and renewable energy. The growth is driven by increased entrepreneurship, government support, and success stories of Indian startups like Flipkart, Ola, and Zomato. Venture capital helps startups scale quickly, create jobs, and contribute to the economy. Example, in the early 2000s, Flipkart started as a small online bookstore in Bangalore. Venture capitalists invested money and guidance, helping it grow into a billion-dollar e-commerce giant. Easy way to remember, VC grows when startups grow more ideas, more funds, more success. Next unit 5. Long questions. First important long question is 1. Concept of venture capital financing. Concept of venture capital financing. Venture capital financing is a method of funding new, innovative, or small businesses that have a lot of growth potential but are too risky for banks or traditional lenders. Unlike bank loans, VCF is not a debt, it is an investment in exchange for ownership or shares in the business. This means that venture capitalists, VCs, earn profits if the business succeeds and they lose money if it fails. VC financing is very important because many startups have brilliant ideas but lack money to turn them into reality. Banks usually avoid lending to these startups because they don't have collateral or a proven track record. Venture capital fills this funding gap and provides more than just money. It also offers business guidance, mentorship, and industry connections. VCF usually comes in stages depending on the growth of the startup. 1. Seed capital, money to start a business or develop an idea. 2. Startup capital, money to launch the product and start operations. 3. Expansion capital, funds to scale the business and reach new markets. Example, imagine a student in Bangalore develops an app to teach coding to school students. He has a brilliant idea but no money to hire developers or market the app. A venture capitalist invests 50 lakh rupees in exchange for 20% ownership, guides the entrepreneur on business strategy, and connects him with schools. As the app grows across India, both the entrepreneur and VC earn profits. Why it's easy to remember. VCF is equal to money plus mentorship plus shares. Risky ideas get a chance to grow. Success benefits both entrepreneur and investor. In short, venture capital financing is like a booster rocket for startups. It helps small ideas take off, grow fast, and reach big heights while sharing rewards with those who believed in them. Next important long question is 2. Discuss the features, need and relevance of venture capital marketing. Features, need, and relevance of venture capital financing. 1. Features of venture capital financing. Venture capital, VC, has some key features that make it different from regular funding. High risk, high return. VCs invest in new or small businesses that are risky but have the potential for high profits. Equity-based VCs provide money in exchange for ownership shares in the company, not as a loan. Long-term investment VCF usually supports businesses for several years, allowing them to grow before profits are realized. Active support venture capitalists don't just give money, they also provide guidance, business strategies, and connections. Innovative focus VCs prefer new, innovative, and technology-driven businesses rather than traditional or low-growth ventures. 2. Need for venture capital. Startups often face problems in raising funds because banks avoid risky businesses with no collateral. Entrepreneurs may have great ideas but lack financial resources. Big investments are needed in areas like IT, biotech, and renewable energy. VC provides money, mentorship, and networking, helping entrepreneurs turn ideas into successful businesses. Example, a young entrepreneur in Pune creates a solar-powered water purifier. Banks refuse loans because the business is risky. A VC invests 1 crore rupees, helps connect with manufacturers, and provides marketing guidance. The startup grows, creates jobs, and earns profits. 3. Relevance of venture capital. Encourages innovation, supports new ideas and modern technology. Boosts entrepreneurship, helps more people start businesses. Economic growth creates jobs and increases industrial development. Success stories. VC-backed startups like Flipkart, Ola, and Zomato have become national and global leaders, inspiring more entrepreneurs. Easy way to remember. Features: risky, equity, long-term, support, innovation, RELC. Need: money plus mentorship plus growth, MMG. Relevance: innovation plus jobs plus economy, IJ. In short, venture capital is like a growth engine for startups. It provides money, guidance, and opportunities, helping small ideas turn into big successes. Next important long question is: 3. Explain SEBI role in regulating of venture capital financing. SEBI's role in regulating venture capital financing. SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, is the main authority that regulates venture capital in India. Its role ensures that investors and startups operate in a safe, fair, and transparent environment. 1. Registration and regulation. SEBI makes it mandatory for all venture capital funds, VCFs, and venture capital companies, VCCs, to register with it. This ensures that only credible and qualified investors operate in the market. 2. Investor protection. SEBI protects the interests of investors by setting rules about how VCs can collect funds, invest in startups, and report their activities. It prevents misuse of funds and ensures transparency. 3. Guidelines for fund operations. SEBI provides guidelines on how VCFs can raise money from investors, how they should invest in startups, how they should disclose information to investors. This makes the venture capital system structured and trustworthy. 4. Encouraging growth. By regulating VCFs, SEBI creates confidence among investors, which encourages more people to invest in startups. This indirectly supports innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic growth. Example: suppose a Bangalore-based startup wants funds for an AI education app. A registered venture capital fund under SEBI invests 2 crore rupees. SEBI rules ensure the fund follows proper procedures, discloses investment details, and protects investor rights. This builds trust for future investors and helps the startup grow safely. Easy way to remember SEBI's role. R. Registration of VCFs, VCCs. P. Protects investors. G. Guidelines for operations. E. Encourages growth. RPG is equal to SEBI makes venture capital safe and reliable. In short, SEBI acts like a guardian of venture capital in India. It ensures that both investors and startups benefit fairly, promoting innovation, growth, and trust in the startup ecosystem. Next important long question is: 4. Explain the structure and regulatory framework of venture capital funds. Structure and regulatory framework of venture capital funds, VCFs. 1. Structure of venture capital funds. Venture capital funds are investment organizations that provide money to startups or small businesses with high growth potential. The structure typically involves 3 main components. Investors, these are individuals or institutions, like banks, insurance companies, or wealthy individuals, who provide capital to the fund. Venture Capital Fund Company, this is the organization that collects the money from investors and invests it in startups. It can be set up as a company or trust. Startups entrepreneurs, these are the businesses that receive investment to grow, develop products, or expand operations. The fund usually takes an equity stake in the startup, meaning it owns part of the business and profits when the startup succeeds. 2. Regulatory framework of VCFs in India. Venture capital funds in India are regulated mainly by SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, to ensure transparency, accountability, and protection for investors. Key regulations include: registration. All venture capital funds or companies must register with SEBI before raising funds. Disclosure. VCFs must provide clear information about their investments, fund structure, and operations to investors. Investment rules. SEBI provides guidelines on how funds can be invested, the maximum exposure to a single startup, and prohibited investments. Exit strategy. VCFs must plan how and when they will sell their stake in startups to recover funds and profits. Example: a startup in Hyderabad wants to launch an electric scooter company. A SEBI registered venture capital fund collects 10 crore rupees from investors, invests 2 crore rupees in the startup, and helps with strategy and connections. After 5 years, the startup becomes successful, and the fund sells its shares, giving profits to investors. Easy way to remember. Structure: investors, VCF, startups. Regulation: SEBI ensures registration, disclosure, investment rules, and exit planning. In short, the structure connects investors and entrepreneurs, and the regulatory framework ensures safety and transparency, making venture capital a reliable source of growth for startups. Next important long question is: 5. Discuss the evolution of venture capital financing in India. Evolution of venture capital financing in India. Venture capital financing, VCF, in India has grown step by step over the years, helping startups and new businesses get the funds they need. Here's a simple timeline. 1. Early stage, 1980s, early 1990s. Venture capital was almost non-existent in India. Most businesses relied on personal savings, family funds, or bank loans. Few institutional investors were willing to take risks. 2. Initial growth, mid-1990s, early 2000s. Government and private sectors began supporting venture capital. Institutions like ICICI Venture, SEBI, and IDBI started investing in startups. Focus was mainly on technology, pharmaceuticals, and manufacturing. 3. Rapid expansion, 2000s, 2010s. The IT and e-commerce boom created more investment opportunities. Startups like Flipkart, Ola, and Zomato received VC funding and grew rapidly. Foreign venture capitalists and angel investors also entered the Indian market. 4. Modern era, 2010s, present. Venture capital is now common in India, supporting sectors like fintech, edtech, AI, healthcare, and renewable energy. SEBI regulates VCFs to ensure transparency and investor protection. Startup India initiative and government policies encouraged more innovation and VC funding. Example, Flipkart started as a small online bookstore in Bangalore. In the early 2000s, it received venture capital from investors like Axel Partners. With funds and guidance, it expanded into India's largest e-commerce platform. Easy way to remember, think of the evolution as slow start, early growth, rapid expansion, modern boom. In short, venture capital in India has evolved from almost nothing to a powerful engine for startups. It has transformed the startup ecosystem, encouraged innovation, created jobs, and attracted global investors to India.